Hi there, my name is Christian Ashbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. What? We're doing something a little different, it sounds like. It can't be! It's time! It's time! We're gonna do it! Yes! Yes! $1 billion babies! Woo! Yeah! So, if you haven't guessed yet, we're going to be talking about Alice Cooper's $1 billion babies on this review. I have been planning on doing that for a while, man. And that is the first time I've ever put a recording up of me even attempting to play that on drums. So, should we start there? Should we start in the middle of the album? No. We're going to come to that. We're going to get into that. All right. Let's first, let's discuss the art of the vinyl. Now, this is a secondhand vinyl I got off of eBay forever ago. It is not in quality condition. But look at that. Look at that. You know, it was designed to look like a billfold. Or a wallet, if you like, you know, depending on how you want to look at it. You know, you got the little family photo inside with a little tiny $1 billion baby right there, you know. Little money clip part right there, you know. It's a great little design, you know. Now, I have, there is more to it inside. You know, you take that out, and then you got this cool little design in there. There's some really cool artwork in the original album. I wish I had a better copy that I wasn't so scared of screwing up even worse. So now that you've seen that, we're going to switch over to the CD, just because it's easier to hold. Here's the CD by contrast. Okay. CD, that's the back. I do like the back album work there on the CD. You know, that's not quite the same as here. You know, they used part of it, but I like the way that they incorporated that into the back of the CD instead. And then, you know, this is the bill that used to come inside of it. It was really cool to have them put that in the CD, and you get, you know, a little, you know, you got the lyrics in here. Don't mind the lyrics. The lyrics are not great. They're often wrong. So, yeah. Album review 99, man. Alice Cooper, $1 billion babies. So, is this my favorite Alice Cooper album? No. I've already covered that. That was killer. Is this one of my favorites? Well, of course it's one of my favorites. First off, it's $1 billion babies, you know. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start at the beginning of the album. Hello! Hooray! Let the show begin. I've been waiting. Great lines, you know. The album opens up with Hello Hooray. Now, Hello Hooray is one of the Alice Cooper songs I honestly don't care for that much. I like the way that it opens up the album. It is the perfect way to open up this album. It is fantastic. Here's a little secret for you. It's not an Alice Cooper song. Nope. Never was. Done by Rolf Kempf. And if I remember correctly, same guy that did Sunrise originally did Sunrise off the Love It to Death album. Bob Ezrin thought it'd be a great track to put on here from what I've heard. The band went, all right, did it, put it on. It's a good song. I like when Alice opens up shows with it. I've seen him open a show with it. It's really cool when he does that. But, yeah, otherwise, I'm not, it's a good tune, but it's not, you know, major. After that, we move on to Raped and Freezin'. Now, this song, well, in its own little way, kind of is a little tongue-in-cheek humor, sort of, the way that Alice sings it, presents it. But it's not... If you're familiar with Alice and you hear Raped and Freezing, you're going to probably be thinking that, he's talking about love and the dead again. Not the case. This is actually about a man being chased by a woman through the desert and not taking no for an answer and leaving the dude raped and freezing alone, cold and sneezing, down in Mexico, alone. Oh, great tune, and the music is just so much fun, man. You just bounce it up. Yeah, so great song. Honestly, really good tune. I really love it. From there, we go on to Elected. Ah, top prime gonna be our choice. I wanna. Great song. I mean, Alice. Realistically, at this point, I'm sorry, Alice, you're a little too old. I don't think you should be trying to run the country, but you should have run years ago, and you had the perfect song. You could have used it all you wanted. No one could have said no, and you could have told everybody to kiss it. Sadly, Alice is smart and chose to stay out of politics. Smartest thing ever. Now, if you don't know your Alice Cooper history, Elected is actually the band reusing this incredibly cool riff they created for a song called Reflected. And it's really good. It's really cool. It's not the same song. There are definitely differences between the two of them. Reflected is from the Frank Zappa period. I believe it was on Pretty's for You. Ooh, brain fart. Okay. But Elected here is honestly, like, Reflected is cool, but Elected is so much cooler. And to watch Alice do this on stage, I mean, who doesn't love watching presidents, former, current, whatever, fighting on stage, blah, 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 blah. It's a great performance piece. I absolutely love it. And next, we get back to where we started it all. $1 Billion Babies. No, don't worry, I'm not going to do the drums again. I know that I do not play it exactly like it is on the album. Let me tell you a secret. Nobody, except for Neil Smith, plays it exactly like it's played on the album, okay? Nobody does. I have personally seen 3 different drummers perform this song live. Each one plays it different, has their own... Every drummer has their own little inflections, their own little nuances. There are so many fills in this damn song that to try and match every single one of them 100% perfectly, 1, you have to be very, very dedicated. 2, wow, you have to be beyond dedicated, like scary dedicated. Or you're just trying to really nail that one cover down perfectly. But seriously, it is one of the greatest drum songs of all time. I think the fact that it is always left out of lists. You always hear these lists, greatest drum songs of all time, greatest drum openings of all time. And $1 Billion Babies is always left out of it. This song should be in the top 10. Should be, because the song is dominated. But Alice Cooper, the whole way around, has always gotten kind of shafted on the music side of things. Because of the theatrical portion, the music portion always gets overlooked. And on a drum song like this, it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't. Let's move on. Next up, Unfinished Suite, an ode to a trip to the dentist. Yes, that is right. This song, Unfinished Suite, is an ode to a trip to the dentist, about getting your teeth drilled and how horrible going to the dentist is. Oh yes, that is what this song is about. And it is wonderful! To the point where even on stage in the past, the Billion Dollar Babies tour specifically. If you ever get to see the concert, Good to See You Again, Alice, or was it Nice to See You Again, Alice? I have to double check it. I've got the DVD. It's fantastic. It's the Billion Dollar Babies tour, and if you ever get to watch it, it's great. Watching Alice go running after a dancing tooth with a monster toothbrush is just fantastic on this song. Great song. I've seen him do it live also with clowns. Believe it or not, he's done it live with clowns and turned it into the Execution song at the end, where he did, what was it? What did he call it? The sarcophagus. Yes, he called that particular death the sarcophagus. It was interesting, but it was not the guillotine, and it was not the hanging, you know. Anyways, after that, we go on to No More Mr. Nice Guy. Okay, come on. First off, you ever seen Dazed and Confused? Man, that has got to be one of the greatest uses of that song ever. Oh my god, man! And I mean, it's such a good tune. If you're one of my regular viewers, you've seen me do my review on the album, the soundtrack Shocker, which had Megadeth's cover of No More Mr. Nice Guy on there, which was also released later on their Hidden Treasures album. But the whole way around, though, No More Mr. Nice Guy is such a great tune. And how many people haven't really honestly thought that, you know, you just had one of those rough days and it's just like, you know what? No more Mr. Nice Guy. It's fantastic. Alright. After that, we get into a song that I have actually discussed before, but this is the original version. If you've ever seen my review for Special Forces, you've heard me talk about the updated version of Generation Landslide. This is the original one. I love Generation Landslide. It is one of those songs I'm really surprised Alice doesn't perform it live more than he does, because it really is a good kind of song. I mean, realistically, he could do this entire album live in a show, and no one would realize he just performed one whole album. They'd just think he was doing all his greatest hits with a few odd songs in there, really, right? Because at this point, I mean, Raped and Freezing, Unfinished Sweet, and now Generation Landslide are the only songs that have never gotten real regular airplay on the radio. I mean, some of these don't get airplay like they used to, but the thing I like about Generation Landslide, though, is Generation Landslide is honestly kind of like the baby boomers taking a look at what's happening with Gen X, because Alice is a boomer. And, you know, at this point, he's watching the Gen X coming up, because this would have been 1973, so Gen X was about 10 years old at this point. And, you know, looking at the media and television, and one of my favorite lines is the Colgate Shield finally got them. You know, it's just a great joke on a line from a commercial. The Colgate Invisible Shield finally got them. And I laughed to myself, all the men and the ladies who will never see those billion-dollar babies. La-da-da-da-da! Great tune. On to something a little special for the next. Now, for this next song, I brought a friend of mine. And this friend here, this is Denver. Hi, Denver. Denver's my acoustic bass. And the reason why I brought out Denver is, much like I played the drums at the beginning for Billion Dollar Babies, this next song, I have learned inside and out, forward, backward. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm not even going to play all of it. But I just want to, just for a moment, because I don't do this, I want to have an intimate moment and go, sick things in cars rotate round my stars. Sick things, pretty things, playthings, my things. Alright, so as you can tell, I'm talking about sick things. So, Sick Things was actually, I believe, the first song, maybe the second song I learned from Alice Cooper in particular. But the first song I ever learned on bass from Alice Cooper. Properly learned on bass, backward, forward. Like, I've actually played it live on stage, learned it. It's one of those songs that's been in and out of band set lists with me for 20 years now. Me and Drew, it's a great fallback song for the two of us because we played it so many times. The two of us can switch off. I can play it on bass. He can play it on drums. I can play it on drums. He'll play it on guitar. The two of us are always playing off of each other that way with the song. It's a great song. It's a simple song, but it's a fun song. And I used to love playing it on stage with my band, The Howling Odyssey. We'd get up on there, and I'd usually play drums on it. Drew would be the rhythm guitar. My ex, Andrea, was the bassist, and, my former friend there, Jay, he was the lead guitarist. And I would actually sing the vocals, and when I was just singing it now, that's not quite the same. Let's be clear, I was with an acoustic, and I'm fucking around in my room. When we would do it up on stage, I usually had to get someone to hold the microphone in front of me because I couldn't get a mic into my drum set properly at the time. So we had a buddy who would come over and sometimes hold the mic for me so I could sing it. And we get up there, and Jay would, get to go nuts on his solos because Jay loved doing that. And it's a great song for going nuts. But not just talking about that, I have a recording. I wish I could find it at the moment. I'm not sure where it is. It's got to be around my house somewhere. Of me, Drew, and his brother Matt playing it back in the late 90s. And Matt was a fantastic guitarist, and the way he dropped the solo down, man, was brilliant. And the thing with Sick Things is we always used to assume that it was Glenn Buxton that did the solo on it. I have later come to learn that when it comes to the $1 Billion Babies album, you never know who honestly did the guitar solos. It could have been Glenn Buxton, but a lot of them were actually Dick Wagner or Steve Hunter. And the reason for that is Glenn Buxton was really having failing health issues at the time when this was being recorded, and it was kind of backing things up and slowing things down. And it really, honestly, this is the last great original band album, because after this, the original band was basically done. When I get to the review for Muscle of Love, I'll get a little more into it, because they tried one more time to really re-spark the band, but Glenn's time, unfortunately, just had taken too much of a toll on him, and it really hurt. And it's a shame that Glenn, unfortunately, passed away way too early, so he never got to see the band get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He never got to enjoy that potential reunion. It is what it is. But so Sick Things, great song, love it. Good tune for playing live. It's a nice, easy tune to learn. It's a good, easy, fun tune to learn. That to me is the best part of it. After that, we go into Marianne. Marianne's just kind of like this cute little piano diddly, and you can tell it was meant as a little catch line because a joke with a little catch line at the end of it. Because going through this whole pretty Marianne, and at the very end, Marianne, I thought you were my man. Do 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 do. Great little riff exit, and then we come to the last song on the album. The greatest song for Stage Show Live. The way, when you hear the riff on this song, you know things are about to get fun. Someone is gonna die. I'm talking, of course, about I Love the Dead. I Love the Dead. Okay, check this out, man. 5 minutes, 8 seconds is how it's listed on the back of the album. And 50% of the song is the most happiest, creepiest, funniest sounding song you could ever kind of hear in its own little way. And the reason why is if you see Alice Cooper live, when he performs I Love the Dead live, it's always creepy. It's always got that little, he puts that little inflection in there. So it has that little creepy tone to it. On the album, it's happy. Happy go lucky. So it's not, I love the dead. Okay, so it's not that creepy. It's I love the dead. You know, like you can see Care Bear singing it behind Alice on this one. Ooh, ooh, I love the dead. Okay? Seriously, it is. But the thing with I Love the Dead, you have to listen to it with headphones. To truly appreciate this song, put on some big-ass Canon mother headphones, okay? Nice, big, thick suckers that cover your whole ear. Not those little bud crap things. The nice, big ear suckers that you block out everything around you and listen to it. And the voices in the background. Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of little cute, hidden stuff in the background, man. The first time I heard that over headphones blew my mind. All right, let's wrap things up. All right. Is there a difference in sound? Yes, I will take this over this. This is not the digitally remastered version, so therefore it is not as good. They did digitally remaster. They did do a special edition of it. They didn't run it long enough. It was done by Rhino Records, and I haven't been able to. It was barely released, as far as I'm concerned. I never got my hands on it, and it bugs me because it is a fantastic album. It's in my top 10 Alice Cooper albums for sure. It should be in my top 5, but it can't be in my top 5 because of the way I work my top 5. But realistically, any album released with the original band and Bob Ezrin really could easily make up the top 5 of Alice Cooper albums anyways. Well, 4 out of the 5 top Alice Cooper albums. Yeah. This album is a must. It may not be my favorite Alice Cooper album, but it is a must Alice Cooper album. This is, if you are into music, this is required listening. You can learn so much from this album. So much from this album. And one of the most important stories I have ever heard and learned from this album is, do not make deals for songs when loaded on the Snow White powder. Allegedly, the rumor goes that I have heard that the song I Love the Dead was sold to the band for like $100 by Dick Wagner because he was blitzed. That's the rumors. I don't know for sure. I do not know for sure. I have not heard this story direct from Alice, any of the original band, or Dick Wagner himself. I have talked to Dick Wagner. I do have Dick Wagner stories, and I will be talking about one of the Dick Wagner stories when it comes to reviewing one of my absolute favorite albums with Dick Wagner on it. But back to this album. Kids, make sure you are sober when you make deals for music, okay? Okay. Alice Cooper's $1 Billion Babies. You gotta have it. You have to have it. And if you get the digitally remastered version, sweet. If you can't get the digitally remastered version, go out and buy the Alice Cooper Life and Crimes of Alice Cooper box set. Almost every song on here is on there digitally remastered. Except for, I think, Marianne. Maybe Sick Things. I'm not 100% sure. But like almost every song's on there digitally remastered that way. That's my thoughts, folks. Tell me your thoughts. That's what the comment section's for. Otherwise, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That way you find out when new content comes out. And peace, love, take care.